This podcast is made for fun and is not subsidized. Hi everyone, welcome to Orinda Talks Fantasy and Sci-Fi. I'm your host Orinda, and today we are talking about X Files with three guests: Jordan van der Meer, Hugo van Maurik, and Amanda Happer. The X Files is an American science fiction drama television series created by Chris Carter. The series revolves around FBI special agents Fox Mulder and Dana Scully, who investigate X-Files, unsolved cases involve paranormal phenomena. Mulder believes in the existence of aliens and the paranormal, while Scully, a medical doctor and a skeptic, is assigned to scientifically analyze Mulder's discoveries, offer alternate rational theories to his work, and thus return him to mainstream cases. Early in the season, both agents become pawns in a larger conflict and come to trust only each other and a few select people. The agents also discover an agenda of the government to keep the existence of extraterrestrial life a secret. They develop a close relationship which begins as a platonic friendship, but becomes more a romance by the end of the series. So, today we're doing a little bit different. Today I have two guests, Hugo and Amanda. Hi guys, thank you for joining me.
My pleasure.
Hi. You're welcome.
So the subject is X-Files. So tell me guys, how did you get interested in X-Files?
Well, I think it was during school. When I was in school there, I was always obsessed with UFOs and aliens and the supernatural during school, and X-Files came around and I started watching that. I watched a bunch of different things about it too.
What about you, Hugo?
Well, I remember watching quite a few episodes of the X-Files when it was shown here on Dutch television, and it just caught my imagination. The whole conspiracy thing, the mythology episodes, and of course the tagline, "The truth is out there." I always thought that was such a cool element.
I think we both agree to that, don't we, Amanda?
Yeah.
So, tell me what part do you like that much of X-Files? Is there anything special you say, okay, it's, of course there are teams that are coming back in episodes, but what does it makes you stay watching it?
Basically, the stories that they had, there's some really good ones, there's some really bizarre ones. Then you got the one with Mulder and Scully and the crazy stories they have to do. Then they have to deal with their bosses. And there's like so many different mysterious characters. Like there's some really good episodes.
Yeah. As for me, of course the mythology episodes are required viewing, but the standalone episodes are just as good.
Yeah.
Especially with I distinctly remember this one episode in which there was a reality cop show where a camera crew was following the cops, and apparently there was something crazy going on, but something with a creature or something, and like Mulder and Scully were brought into the action. Yeah, Chupacabra, that's it. Yeah, and that was one of the most interesting episodes because it seemed as if the X-Files was really taking place.
I know, it was like a really cool one. It was like a cop style episode, and it's like all the shaky camera movements and everything. And the creature, like, it would claw people's doors and stuff too, and kill people, and put like gashes in their chests and kill them outright.
Yeah.
That was a wild episode. But there was another one, I forget the name of the episode, but it did deal with these two brothers that were like kind of like a goat suckers. Like they would transform into a creature, but then also transform back to their normal selves, and the rain would be yellow after every attack.
Yeah.
And all this mold would grow on people and animals.
Yeah, and I also remember there was this. I think it was a largely shot or fully shot in black and white.
Oh,
Some deformed being who was a huge fan of Cher, and towards the end of the episode, Cher gave a concert, a performance. I can't recall the name
oh,
of the episode, but yeah, that was another very interesting episode.
So, what do you
yeah.
think about the relationship between Scully and Mulder?
It was
Brilliant.
like a very interesting one because at the beginning, Skinner was sent her to debunk Mulder and all his crazy, wacky theories. But then, towards I'd say a few episodes are in, she thought he was crazy at first. But then, oh my, she says, this stuff is real. And then they start getting along more and more. And I think they almost fired her at one point. But Mulder would fight for her too, I guess.
Yeah, Mulder was absolutely convinced that the truth is out there. Scully was being so skeptical.
Yeah, and they
But
sent
as the season
Skinner.
progressed, the roles were well. At one point, the roles were reversed because when Mulder was abducted by aliens and they brought in Agent Doggett towards the
Oh, him.
I can't remember when he was introduced in one of the 7th season or something. Then Scully was the one who took over Mulder's role, if you will. Doggett was the one being
Yeah.
skeptical.
Yeah,
Well,
he
I
was
do
skeptical, and she had to try to convince him to believe in all this.
Yeah.
And she
I
had a
do
hard
think
time.
it is. I do think it's really of this time as well because there are people who are very believing in this stuff, and there are so many skeptical out there as well. So it's still also actual for this time.
Yeah, unfortunately, with the conspiracy theories being more current than when the X Files was being made.
Yeah, I do think, but it still means I do think it's when X Files aired. I do think there were already conspiracy theories about that because we had, of course,
Yeah.
Area 51.
Yes, Bob Lazar. The
And
guy, Travis Walton, I think his name was, Fire in the Sky. I think that was his name,
Yeah, I think
Travis
you're right.
Walton,
Yeah,
that got abducted.
yeah,
That was a good movie.
I don't think it's in that much way fictional because there are things outside that are here on this earth. Only the people who experienced it or the government people, they have to shut up. And yes, X Files is, of course, made out of fiction, but I do think there are a lot of things that, yeah, we human people with common brain knowledge don't can't understand it or explain it.
yeah. Many things will always. Yeah, I mean, Area 51. Is it real? Is it not real?
That's true. Is it real? Is it not real? But apparently, I think it's real.
I think that the government is holding back a lot of information to the people.
Oh, yeah, they are.
True. Yeah.
Definitely true. They're definitely holding a lot of stuff back.
So I must confess, I didn't see all the seasons of X Files, but yeah, shoot what you want to say and.
Well, to me, it's one of the best written television shows ever made. I mean, the mythology episodes were required viewing, of course, but the standalone episodes with the Creature of the Week story, they were just as much fun.
Yeah, they had a lot of good stories. They did, and then they also had they had a lot of good stories. And Mulder had his friends and his enemies. Like 3 of his friends were the lone gunmen. They were part of the mythology too.
Yeah, brilliant
Langley,
characters.
Byers,
I
and
love those
Frohike.
guys.
Langley, Byers, and Frohike.
Yeah.
And they were getting debunked and all this stuff too.
Yeah.
And then there was another guy that, I don't know, he was Mulder's enemy, I guess, the cigarette smoking man. I think he was played by D.B. Sweeney.
Yeah.
The guy was always hiding around in the background smoking a cigarette.
Yeah, and then of course the connection between him and Mulder, which was one hell of a revelation.
Huh.
Yeah, it turned out that he was in fact Mulder's biological father.
Oh, I didn't get that episode.
Yeah.
Because I missed a few of the episodes myself. So, that was his biological father. Huh. That's why he was always hanging around.
Yeah.
Interesting. I thought he was just there trying to undermine Mulder.
And of course trying to cover up the whole conspiracy thing and all the governments working together with the alien conspiracy.
Yeah. And then you got Skinner, the guy that's going bald, and him and Mulder always fought each other, and I think a few times he called Skinner skinhead or something like that. Like they always got on each other's nerves or whatever, and Scully would end up fighting with them too. But once in a while, they would actually get along.
But one of the other things which I love about the X Files is that the creator Chris Carter also created the television show Millennium.
And I vaguely remember that one.
Yeah. And apparently it took place in the same universe because in one of the later seasons there is a crossover episode in which Lance Henriksen's character collaborates with Mulder and Scully.
Oh. So I vaguely don't remember the show Millennium, but I might have seen a few episodes. I just forgot about it.
Do you guys think that X-Files has been made to prepare the public for aliens or whatever? Or maybe that there can be more than just us?
Well, yeah, that's what they're trying to say, that there could be more than just us out there in the universe. There could be like other multiple planets out there that could have life, not just us. Yeah, we can't be the only ones out there.
What do you think, Hugo?
Can't hear you, Hugo.
No, we can't hear you at the moment.
Oh. Can you hear me now?
Now we can
Yeah,
hear you.
now we can.
Okay. Well, I don't. In my opinion, there's very little doubt that the X Files contributed a great deal to the interest, the popularity of science fiction and alien life, and well, even conspiracy theories and governments trying to cover up I don't know how many things.
Oh, probably a lot of things.
Yeah, but even for people who never watched the television show, when the first X Files movie for Fight the Future came along, I think that brought the series to an even wider audience.
Yeah, when it was aired in theaters, they're like,
Yeah,
oh, this is interesting.
Yeah, I think after that, the TV series, I don't want to say explode, but it's got more attention of more people than it had before.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
it
even
brought
so,
the
you
show
have
to-
to have seen the movie because it bridged the gap between the 5th and 6th season, and it is and that story is part of the mythology. Yeah, and the second movie, I want to believe it wasn't part of the mythology as such, and it wasn't as successful as the first movie, but I liked it.
I know I have those two movies in my collection. I might have to watch them again, but yeah, it probably made more people aware of the series too. I agree. And the mythology that goes around.
Is there anything in the X-Files you guys don't like?
Don't like. Well, I suppose my opinion has changed now that I am older, but when I was a child and one of the standalone episodes would end on a cliffhanger. Did it happen? Did it not happen? Was there a creature like that? I wanted to see more about that.
Yeah, I hate cliffhangers. Like
So
they
you
leave it the episode like, hello. Cliffhangers. That's what drives me crazy about shows. Especially with X-Files. They leave you on a cliffhanger with what was the creature.
Yeah, besides that, I don't. Well, of course, there have been some not so great episodes and some good ones, but I can't say I don't like. There isn't a single episode that is unwatchable. I find them all to be entertaining.
Yeah, like a lot of them are entertaining. There was one episode, I guess, was banned from being aired, and you can only watch it like on DVD.
Yeah.
What was it? I can't remember the name of it, but these kids in the beginning were playing baseball in the episode at the beginning, and they proceed to find a baby buried in the baseball field. That was the banned episode. It had so much weirdness in that episode.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the episode, but yeah, it was.
Neither can I.
Yeah.
It was basically a family that, well, we all know what happened.
Yeah.
That lived in the same house. The mother had no arms or legs, so.
Yeah. Well, other than that, I don't think there's anything bad about the show.
Yeah.
It was consistently good.
Yeah, I agree with that too. Yeah, it's the things I rewatched was yeah, it's I think it's also not only remind you that there is something more than us only, but also it's so wide and in prospect what can be here already on Earth, because like we said, Area 51, there always were conspiracy about that there was a alien ship with an alien in it, and that the military has to hush itself because they don't want to scare the population, for example.
Yeah. They
I-
think
I
we
can
all freak out
understand
if
it,
we
yeah.
knew.
Yeah, I can understand that they want to avoid panic, but covering it up and people coming up with all their crazy ideas.
And there are a lot of
Yeah, 'cause-
stories of being kidnapped and other things. So, yeah, but I do think X Files shows us not only in what can be out there, but also it plays a little bit our imagination.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
And that's what I always liked about Scully and Mulder. They are investigate those tracks. They like to find out what is the truth and don't hide the truth because it is there.
Yep. Definitely hiding in
Yeah,
plain
true.
sight.
Yeah.
Yeah, the truth is out there. It's hiding in plain sight.
Is there one character in X Files? What do you guys identify yourself with?
Which character?
Interesting.
I suppose I'm a bit of a combination between Mulder and Scully. I can be skeptical, but I try to keep an open mind.
Yeah, it's the same with me. I'm skeptical about things, but I'm like, well, try to keep an open mind about things. And then you got remember I said the lone gunmen, they're always, they're basically like nerdy guys with Mulder who are trying to discover all this stuff, and they're a bit skeptical at times too, but same deal. They're nerdy, and Mulder's also nerdy too at times, and he gets excited about things like I would.
Yeah, I also remember that there's this one episode in which they showed a flashback or a home video recording of Mulder and his older sister when they were kids.
Samantha.
Yeah, Samantha.
I think
Yeah,
it's Samantha.
And they were. It must have been on a Sunday morning or a Christmas morning or something. And they were playing together or unpacking presents. And I distinctly remember Mulder, as a boy, was wearing a blue science uniform from the original Star Trek series.
I didn't see that
and
one.
I love this. Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I
But wasn't that when
distinctly
she
remember him
I think that's when she got kidnapped, didn't she, by the aliens?
around that time. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm a huge fan of Star Trek, and when I saw that, I was like, fascinating.
I know what you mean, Hugo. Me too.
I like Star Trek too.
Trekkies all together.
I have a hard time doing that with my hand.
So, yeah, maybe this is just a really tough question, but it just came into mind. Which episode would you like to experience yourself in real?
I would have to say the episode with the chupacabra, because that episode just stood out for me.
Yeah, because is the ghost sucker real or fake? That makes you question if the creature is real or fake.
Yeah. Where did
Or
that whole
somebody's-
idea of the chupacabra come from?
Yeah. Is somebody screwing around with people? Or is it an actual creature that's going around sucking all the blood out like a vampire?
Yeah.
Because apparently it's actually happening in real life that there was animals getting their blood drained. Like this really bizarre thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the episode.
Yeah. Let's see what else. Well, one of my other favorite episodes is one where Mulder and Scully were investigating the attacks on a number of people at a lake. and people believed it was a Loch Ness type monster. And towards the end of the episode, it turned out that it was a giant crocodile or alligator.
Oh, jeez.
And so the episode, and then everybody assumed that, okay, the alligator or crocodile was responsible for Odo's death. But then at the end of the episode, just before the end, way over there in the distance, a Loch Ness monster shows up. So is there a Loch Ness monster out there or not?
What a twist.
And that's another episode I would have loved to have seen more of.
Well, there's one episode, I don't know if you remember it, called Josie Chung's from Outer Space. It's all about the Men in Black and all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a wrestler dressed as one of the Men in Black.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I forget his name, but oh my God, he was a big guy. And it turns out the aliens, some of them were actually aliens, but there was a couple of military guys in alien costume. And I'm still laughing over the fact that when they swore in the episode, they bleeped it. Especially with Mulder. Mulder's like, woo!
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I also recall an episode where Mulder, I think it might have taken place in the Bermuda Triangle, or something like that.
On like a boat, I think.
Yeah, during the Second World War. Yeah, Mulder was transported back in time to a luxury liner or some other ship.
I knew it was on a boat, but I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, that's another episode I found quite interesting.
It's been a while since I've seen them. What was the other one? Oh, there was another one dealing with the circus people.
Oh, yeah, the freak show or something like that.
Yeah. And I heard, if I'm correct, I heard they used actual circus people, is what I heard.
As far as I know, they did.
It was like a really bizarre case.
Yeah.
And at the end, the killer was hooked to the guy. It was like on his body like a twin. And apparently it disconnected itself and would go off and kill people. But at the end, he's leaving the circus with his friend in the car. And they couldn't discover who it was.
Yeah. Those are perfect examples of how diverse the show was in terms of storytelling.
Yeah.
Well, I do think that could be a very interesting episode to hear more about how there could be a lot more storytelling from there on.
I could probably make more episodes to this day. You probably could make some more episodes. They could.
Would you guys like that Scully and Mulder coming back for another X-Files season?
They can do more seasons if they wanted to, because there's like so many stories out there to make. Like they could probably do more Area 51 episodes.
Yeah, I would love to see them come back again. I mean, when it was announced that they would come back for the event series, I was excited. And then the 11th season came along. So I can't think of a reason why they couldn't go on to tell more stories.
Yeah.
What about X-Files coming back and Scully and Mulder are training their follow-ups, the new Scully and Mulder?
I think it could work, as long as the original characters are there. I think it would be acceptable.
Yeah. Have the original characters along with new people being trained.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it worked when they introduced Agent Doggett and his colleague.
Yeah.
I can't remember her name, but they were introduced alongside the
them.
original characters, and it worked for me.
The only one they really can't bring back is the guy that was played the Smoky Man, because I guess he passed away.
Unless, of course, he will be cloned or something crazy happened to him. Who knows?
There's an idea for an episode.
Mm-hmm.
Just like when they had Mulder's young version of his father.
Right.
That was played by Dean Aylesworth.
Yeah.
I met him.
Cool.
Yeah, I got some pictures with him on Facebook, and he added me on Facebook too. He's a nice guy, really nice guy.
Yeah.
I met him at the convention in Moncton for Geek Fest. So yeah.
Well, the other thing I think they could do is of course, Mulder and Scully had a child together, their son William.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, they put him up for adoption to protect him. Yeah, I think it would be interesting to explore whatever happened to him in the meantime.
Or that he is going to find his own parents and step into their footsteps.
I think it would be a very interesting idea.
Like in Indiana Jones. Is there something you like to tell the listeners what was important for you when you were watching X Files, or even in the time X Files was on the air?
Well, I like the stories, and basically that type of stuff is the stories that were important, and the friendship between Mulder and Scully and the rest of them. Basically that for me was the stories and the friendships in the show. And the multitudes of different characters.
Yeah, and of course, I love the opening theme.
Yes.
It's one of the most amazing themes ever written.
Yeah, it's like a really interesting theme, and in the background they showed all these different pictures. And the tagline, "The truth is out there," with the
Well,
UFO
they
on
did,
the poster.
yeah, and there were also times when they had a different tagline at the end of the opening credits.
Yeah, they usually did have different taglines. I forgot about that. Sometimes it'd be "The truth is out there," or they'd have different sayings. I forgot about that. I thought it was always "The truth is out there," but.
So how big of a fan
besides,
are you guys of X Files? Here you go.
Well, the show had a pretty big impact on me. I mean, ironically, I found the collector's box set with all with the first 9 seasons at my local thrift store, and I was hooked again. So it's part of me, and I can't imagine that it will ever go away.
No. Now you make me want to go find the DVDs. Be hard, but I'll find them because I go to the secondhand stores every weekend and look for DVDs. Oh, well, maybe I'll find some today of the X Files there, maybe.
So, do you guys also collect things of X Files, or do you do a cosplay of X Files?
I remember for Halloween when I was younger, I wore a black suit and basically a Men in Black agent from the episode when I was younger.
Okay, nice.
And I got egged, but whatever.
I have a couple of comic books lying around of the X Files.
Yeah.
A couple of books as well. I have the novelization of the first movie.
I know I got a couple of novels of the X Files.
Yeah. Yeah, some of them are based on television episodes, some of them are original stories, but I enjoy reading them. They expand on the characters and the stories.
Yeah, I heard that too, yeah. I never read it, but I heard it too, that it is the novels and the comics like that.
Well, for those listening who have never seen the X Files or have not seen it in a long time, I would highly recommend you check it out again, and the 2 movies, because
I agree.
Once you watch the show, you will be hooked for life.
Yep. Yes, I agree. You will be hooked on the show from all the twists, turns, and all the stories and all the craziness that goes on between Mulder, Scully, and the rest of them.
Okay.
It's a really good series. I agree.
I don't know if you guys are going to conventions, but do you see often like X-Files stuff on there or related?
At the convention, yeah, I've seen some things.
Yeah, bits and pieces.
Yeah, like I go to like anime conventions and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
My last one was around the beginning of last year, but I go to Anime times and Geek Fest and stuff like that. But Geek Fest is no more. They decided to give up on that. But I went to Chi-Con. I did see some Star Trek stuff, or X-Files stuff, and I've seen like X-Files stuff at other conventions I go to, and they sold like pins, badges, stuff like that. I saw somebody dressed as Scully when I was at one of them.
Yeah, because I was wondering in how big the fan base of X-Files really is, because it's so long time ago, and I can imagine there are some die-hard fans there, but it is so long time ago that it even aired that I can imagine that it is just a small group of it. I don't know how you guys experience that.
I don't know. I mean, it's not as... I don't think the fan base is as obvious as the Star Wars or the Star Trek fan base.
Yeah.
But there is a fan base out there. It has to be. I mean, otherwise it wouldn't have lasted for so long.
Well, yeah. There is a fan base. They're just not showing themselves that much. Unlike the Star Trek and the Star Wars. You know they're out there. You just got to hunt them down.
Yeah, but I'm sure that science fiction fans in general love the X Files anyway.
Well,
Yeah.
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 Yeah, as far as
So,
cosplayers, I can't say I've ever seen any cosplayers from the franchise.
neither do I.
'Cause I remember it was a couple of years ago. I don't know if I have it on Facebook or not. I probably didn't post it. I might have posted, but there was a girl dressed like Scully. She had the red hair and everything.
Okay. Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't even.
Yeah,
I didn't research that too. If there are like X Files events or especially conventions for X Files, but I haven't met a geek that is that fan of an X Files that there are special events or vendors or whatever, especially devoted to X Files. So
not to my knowledge, I don't think there is a specific convention for the X Files.
No, I don't think there is. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure if there is a specific convention for it.
well, one thing will be clear is that X Files will always be a part of sci-fi, and if there is a sci-fi convention, X Files will be presented there.
Oh yeah,
Sure, yeah.
definitely will.
Yeah. Well, one of the other things, by the way, it just popped into me. There is an episode of The Simpsons in which Mulder and Scully make a guest
Yes!
appearance. I love
I
that
got
episode.
in peace. It was Mulder and Scully found out it was really Mr. Burns as
Yeah.
the alien. I
And
come in peace.
Yeah,
And because he was so jacked up on stuff from the doctors.
and of course
Dr.
Leonard
Nick
Nimoy made
Riviera
an
was
appearance
jacking
as
him
well.
up and stretching his body
Yeah.
and making him look like an alien.
Yeah, and Leonard Nimoy making an
Oh, it
appearance.
was funny. Yeah, I think Superman made an appearance too. And Leonard Nimoy's character made an appearance in that episode.
Yeah.
And then he disappears by getting warped out of there. Oh, it was funny.
Yeah, and I suppose that because of the success of The Simpsons, perhaps then the X Files also became an even bigger success because then it reached a whole different audience.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's what the Simpsons do. And of course also South Park. They use actual things that are on the television or it's in people's life, and they can connect with that. And so, if they're doing a guest appearance in, for example, The Simpsons or South Park, yeah, then you have made it, I guess, because everyone, let I say, 95 of the youth and also a big population of the people knows South Park and The Simpsons or watching South Park and The Simpsons. So, yeah, you got a big audience by that.
Oh, yeah, definitely, because Simpsons and South Park they have so many genres added into their shows. Like Simpsons always have something like they had Rick and Morty on The Simpsons as a guest opener. And they've done so many twists and turns in each episode with The Simpsons and Star Trek. They basically,
Yeah.
Well, guys, I'd like to thank you for this lovely conversation about X-Files. And hopefully we can talk about another episode again. And
Okay.
Yeah, it was really nice to talk about the X-Files, what your opinion about it is. And who knows, in the future there will be another X-Files episode. And of course, maybe there will be a following up of the X-Files seasons that there already are. So, who knows?
There could be new episodes added or another movie. You never know.
Yeah, you never know.
I would love to see another series. I think it could go on for some time.
Yeah, I do so too. There's a lot of stories to
Star
tell.
Trek's been going on for a long time.
Well, thank you both again. And I will see you the next time.
Yep.
Okay, my pleasure.
Keep your eyes to the stars and your feet to the ground, and the truth is out there.
Agreed.
Nicely say. like this podcast, you can like and subscribe on all the platforms. You can also follow and comment on Podbean, Spotify, and Google Podcast. On social media, the Facebook group, the Discord server, and YouTube channel of Orinda Talks Fantasy and Sci-Fi, and on Twitter at OTFASP. Let me know what you think of this episode. In the next episode, we will talk about Dragon Duma, which is one of my favorite series of dragon adventures. I'm Orinda, and thank you for listening to Orinda Talks Fantasy and Sci-Fi. See you next time.